Hello, everybody. It is just 1 minute before 11, so I'm going to wait just one more minute for anyone to join us. I know several of you have been watching the recordings, and that is awesome. This is week 3 of live mixed media. So, okay, it's 11 o'clock. So, hello, everybody. I'm Terry Eldridge, and I've been doing these Mixed Media Monday Lives for 3 weeks now, working on a little mini painting showing you some of the techniques and the things that I do to create my mixed media art. And I have some really, really exciting news today. Two things. I launched my free mini course, Curious Art Lovers, which has a free class in it that goes through a lot of the steps that I've been showing you in the last few weeks, and a whole bunch of resources to help you kickstart your mixed media practice. So you'll see at the end when this video is finished and uploaded, you'll see a link to a membership page that explains that membership. And also the Studio Insiders membership is launching tomorrow. I'm really, really so excited about this membership. I'm so proud of it. It is chock full of a very logical approach to creating mixed media art that takes you through this whole journey. Not just about the techniques, but the mindset, getting into creative flow. It's filled with courses and resources, but everything is very organized and sent to you in a very easy to follow way so that you don't get overwhelmed. So I'm super excited about that. Again, there's more information about that in the link in the description. And I'll talk a little bit more about that at the end, and I'll show you some of the mini studies that I did in the first couple of lessons. But for today, I'm going to continue to show you how I'm going to add some more details to the painting that I've been showing you and sort of how I approach this. So if you remember from the first live, I had done 2 paintings. These are taped off. And I just put some scribbles on there, which is always what I do. I put words on my paintings so that they speak metaphorically, and also some paint. So this one I added in the last week, I added some of these brighter colors, and these are actually some of the paints offloaded, the extras that I was doing this painting with. I always recommend you do that so that you have a base for another painting. I always have newsprint under my work, and I always offload my paint. Sometimes I'll run it through a stencil. I might purposely put some of it in some areas where I'm offloading it, but I have automatic collage papers when I do that, or a base for another painting. So this one I'm going to tackle later, but you can see they both started in the same place. And then this one I have been slowly developing, and I'm a mixed media, mainly abstract landscape artist. So it is a landscape inspired by my beautiful Costa Rica. And you can see the mountain back here. There's a bunch of flowers in the foreground and a very kind of stormy sky, which represents the rainy season, which is what it is in Costa Rica right now. So a couple of things that I have done in between last week and this week. I put some dark magenta under these flowers to make them bigger and help them pop and come more to the foreground. And I added a little bit of a lighter gray to kind of suggest clouds and start to bring out this mountain. So I'm going to add some more details to this, and I know sometimes it can be a little challenging to watch someone paint who does things very intuitively, but I think you'll really get a handle on how I approach these things and how you can start to put details in your paintings as you go along. There's a lot of discussion in the Studio Insiders membership about composition and values and all of those things. I've learned so much in the now 10 years that I've been doing fine art. And so I'm going to start to put details in here that make sense in a landscape. So, for example, underneath here would be darker, you know, anything that's in shadow. I'm going to brighten these clouds a little with some white, which will start to really bring this mountain out a little bit more. This is all very sort of modeled, but it has wonderful texture and wonderful interest. Let's see if we can show you. See all those textures, and some of it is actual texture from collage papers, but some of it is actually an illusion of texture because of the layers of paint and the way that I'm doing them. So I'm going to start first by adding some of that white. And I'm going to do that with a little mini palette knife. So I've got my tube here, and I'm just going to run a little, not too much. And I'm just going to start putting some of that in here. And you know, every layer that you add adds another layer of interest and another pop. And if it's too much, as I always say, you can just go back over it. So I'm going to keep going right across this part of the mountain. And you can see how that's helping bring the mountain out, putting some lighter color around the edge of it. Let's get just a little bit more here. Sorry, I don't have this taped down. It tends to stick, I found, when I tape it, so we'll get a little more. And as I'm using this palette knife to do this, it's picking up the texture of the papers and the things that are on the page. So let's bring that right to the edge here. And then I'm going to do the same just to balance this out a little bit, where I kind of put some up here. And then I'll show you up close how this looks. I love when it picks up like these creases. And I won't be doing all of this in the video today. I don't know how long you like to watch me paint, but we'll just put enough in here so you kind of get the idea. Okay, and I may soften. This looks a little too bright for me, given that this is supposed to be a stormy day. So I'll probably tone that down a little bit later. And I'm definitely going to add some more to this lighter area as well to kind of bring that about. But for now, we're just going to show some of my approaches to details. Okay, and now I've got some sap green, which is a beautiful, just hold it so you can see it, right? Sap green hue. This is a translucent green that I absolutely love, and also another translucent green, Viridian green hue. These are both gorgeous. Viridian is actually already in here somewhat, but I'm going to start adding some of this darker sap. And sometimes I like to mix my greens. I don't have any mixed right now, but I do like to mix greens because you can get some really, really interesting combinations. Let me move this up so you can see it. So I'm going to start making this bottom area a bit darker. And you'll see it's going to automatically start grounding this composition. And I'm just kind of putting that layer on the bottom, but of course I don't want that to be too obvious or too perfect. Mother Nature is perfect in her own right, but in the landscape, obviously everything is not matchy-matchy. And then I'm going to kind of, there's this nice little peach color over here, which is kind of cool. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that. But really, if I look at this, the light would probably be hitting right in here from up here. So I'll probably go in here, not probably, I definitely will, go in here and start brightening this up a little bit. It would be hitting the peak of the mountain as well. So I'll be adding some more of that later. But for now, I'm going to continue with this base and kind of, I don't want to lose that. There's something I really, really love about that. And it's a little bit off because it's way down here where shadows would normally be. So I need to think about that. But I'm also loving this area here, which has some of that Viridian in it. So now I'm going to go back to my Viridian green, and I'm offloading my extra paint onto my newsprint. So I'm going to go back, I'm going to grab some of this Viridian, which is like it's kind of in the turquoisey family, and just start putting a little in here to add some darker areas underneath some of this, but not quite as dark as what I put down here. And maybe that's what this needs over here, actually, a little Viridian. So you can see as I'm moving through this piece that I am slowly adding more and more layers, more interest. Not a lot though, you know, these are just little brush strokes, little bits of paint that I'm adding into this interesting landscape. Yeah, so I'm definitely going to tone down those clouds, and I don't have the blue that I need with me. I didn't plan to do that, so I will do that, and I will define this peak a little bit more and kind of refine the sky a little bit. And I will record that because for the next 2 weeks I will be traveling. So I won't be doing these live. I will be scheduling recordings for 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, so we can keep this going. So let's do this. Hold on, let's use my squeaky chair. If you remember last week, one of the things that I showed you was taking a mat board and holding it over your painting so that you could see what it was going to look like. Let's move this for you. So that you could see what it's going to look like. And I find this so helpful. The other thing that's really helpful is to take a picture of it. It's really amazing when you take a photo of your art, how things really stand out. Things that you are like, oh, I love that spot, or oh, no, that spot needs some work. So that will be the next thing I do, is take a photo of this and sort of stand back, which is another great tip. If you are not sure about a piece and, you know, it just isn't really speaking to you in different places, stand back about 6 or 8 feet from it. You'll really get a whole different perspective. You know, we're on top of our work all the time and just looking at all of these fine details, but not necessarily the whole composition in and of itself. So I definitely recommend that you do that, and that you get a mat board to check that out. And then how fun is this going to be eventually? I'm kind of seeing, well, just the way it is right now, I'm seeing the Northern Lights. But there's some really, really cool things that could be done with this composition, and those fluorescents really bring things to life. Which brings me to the next thing that I want to show you really quickly before we finish with this. And that is some of the mini studies that you will be doing if you join our Studio Insiders membership. So a couple of things about that membership. So these are exactly the same studies, exactly the same prompts. This is one set, and this is another set. So you can see you'll get completely different looks depending on what you choose in these prompts. And not only am I going to walk you through this whole process of getting all these paintings and studies done so that you can really refine your own ideas and your own voice and your own style, but I'm really, really focused on building community through mixed media art. So one of the huge pieces of the membership is our community. It's all built into my website. So the community is in there, all the courses are in there, all the resources are in there. There's a whole course on helping you get in the frame of mind for creative flow with meditations and tools for setting up a great space and setting an intention, and then ideas for saving money and color mixing and all kinds of mini little supplemental courses that go with the technique courses of exploring mixed media, and there are multiple ones of those coming. So I hope that you will join us. It's really going to be amazing. I've had a membership before and it was great. This is way better. I'm so proud. I mean, the other one was great too, but this is just so well put together, and I think you'll really be excited about the content and the community. The community is huge. And so we meet once a month on Zoom to go over some of these lessons and share work, get feedback, ask questions, learn about, other materials and resources. They're really, really great, and we record those as well. So you don't have to worry if you miss one, you can check it out the next day. So anyway, all of that information is in the link below. The Studio Insiders launches tomorrow. Curious art lovers, if you want to check it out, it's free, so go ahead and jump into that one. And also the Studio Insiders, besides being low cost, there's a 7-day trial period, so you don't even have to pay for it right off the bat. You can just spend a week checking it out and seeing what you think. So I'm really, really psyched about it, and I hope to see a bunch of you in there. So I think that's it for today. I'm really kind of digging these fluorescent ones. Aren't they cool? So we'll continue to build on those. These just have paint and scribbles. These have some collage papers on them, so we're kind of one step ahead on this set of studies versus this one. But this is the first section of exploring mixed media. There are a total of 7 sections altogether, including the getting started, and you get a section each week, so you don't get overwhelmed. There's each section has a bunch of lessons in it, and it follows a very logical progression. So once again, thank you for following me. Thank you for being the amazing people that you are, and come create with us. I would love to have you. All right, I will see you live again in 3 weeks. And I'm going back to Costa Rica and currently in Florida. Think we got our house sold. So you'll see me there in a few weeks, but look for the recordings next Monday and the Monday after at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, have a great, great rest of your week and create something amazing and just get out there and have fun. See you soon, everybody.